sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight. No disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight. Bang. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Taking folks in, dialogue insane. Nats on the mat, Vince is vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Catching every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercation. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Yeah, chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. No holds unbound. Got it.
Thinking over once. You can't rule, you know. You know, I'm with the right.
Microphone blazing, Grun's room, let's collide. Streaming hot takes, combat and overdrive. Chairs flying, bodies on the ground. Review last night's show, no holds unbound. Smell the sweat, hear the roar, feel the pain. Tagging folks in, dialogue insane. Mats on the mat, Vince's vendetta. Analyze the best moves, no meta. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight. Heel turns crazy, face gains momentum. Captured every moment, endless venom. New champs, shock the crowd. Replay, breakdown, critics stand proud. Raw emotions, no disqualifications. Table smashes, fierce altercations. Belt changes hands, crowd erupts. We dissect each drop kick, no one interrupts. Friday night fights, Grun's room delight. Hit the play button, commentary tight. Top rope leap, slams in sight. Podcast reverberates, breaking tonight.
What is going on, chat? It is the Grunmeister. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. Eastern. You know what that means. It is time for Grun's Room, Smackdown review preview show. And you got to check out all the IYH content we're putting out Monday through Friday now. Now, what that is the Monday Night Raw review show hosted by the voice Joshua Joseph, co hosted by myself, the Blue Eyed Villain, along with the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway. You gotta check us out. The Bearded Brigade, the three of us, talking about Monday Night Raw. Actually, I think we're gonna be reviewing Monday Night Raw live because I think Raw this coming Monday is gonna be the last Monday for a while at least that Raw is gonna be on at 7 p.m. Eastern, which hey I love and we love it too. You guys have loved it. You got to check out the new. It is confirmed now. We are doing the Sunday house party has been moved to Tuesdays. He's the Sunday, so now it is the Tuesday night house party. Check out that 6 p.m. about 5 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern is going to be our tentative time to start. We were supposed to start it this week. Unfortunately, life happens. People can't, and things get in the way. We weren't able to do it, unfortunately, but that does not mean we are stopping. It's just a little hiccup, just a little bump in the road, and we keep rolling. As we roll on to Wednesday's Bouquet of Flowers, this is our new Wednesday show hosted by Alakon the Concept House and co-hosted as well by Divinely Designed Annie O'Neill as they talk about women's wrestling. And you know what? I mean, I don't see why not. Women's wrestling is better than it's ever been. Yeah, women had put up with quite a bit. But you know what? Those sacrifices, putting up with that created women's wrestling today. That helped move women's wrestling to where it is today. And if you love women's wrestling, I don't know why you don't, you got to check out the Bouquet of Flowers. Because the entire idea of the show is that they are giving women's wrestling its flowers. And the women in it as well, of course. And you got to check out the ECW Watch Along on Thursdays. He's hosted by the voice, Joshua Joseph, except he's not always the voice on that show. On that show, he's the educator of Extreme. And he is co-hosted by Alec on the Cosmic House as they watch old school, original, traditional ECW content. And they're always talking about how ECW was such a different animal back in the day and how ECW could and should have been around today. But, it is what it is. So we still have the fond memories of all the violence, the bloodshed, and the very, very interesting characters and shows that they put on. And then finally, of course, my show on Fridays. I close out the week. And now, with all that being said, we're actually going to go over something that's not actually pro wrestling related. It's actually video game related. Electronic Arts, EA, y'all know them. They're not very beloved because they screw things up. And it is infuriating. It is soul crushing how they have ruined some things. And it's we all know that it's because they're greedy. They, in whatever way they can find to make a little extra money, even if it's only a couple of extra dollars, they're gonna do it. They don't care. They just want monies, and I get it. They're a company, they're a corporation. They need to make money, but please make good games too. Okay, good games will make you big money. You can quote me on that. But EA is reportedly close to a $50 billion deal to go private. The group of investors include Silver Lake, an American global equity private equity firm. They have investments in things such as Software AG. I don't know if any of y'all. Expedia Group, Twitter. Most investment groups probably have some investment in Twitter. Airbnb, I saw Dell on here, SoFi. What else? I saw a few other things that were Skype, GoDaddy. Yeah, so I mean, they seem to make pretty smart investments. It seems like whether we agree with the business decisions or not, the companies they invest in make money. It's usually okay. They seem to be very intent on that. But there is another investment group that is interested, and it is the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. Saudi Arabia is trying to get in our video games now. No, stay away from. You want to make your own. You want to make Saudi Arabia video games? Go ahead, Saudi Arabia. Make your own video games, but please, EA is barely is starting to dig themselves out of the grave they have dug themselves into. Saudi Arabia, don't touch EA. Don't touch it. No touchy. Okay? No, Saudi Arabia, no touchy. Okay? Leave our video games alone. Thank you. Have a nice day. Now, let's get on to the pro wrestling. Now, last week we had Smackdown as well as WrestlePalooza, which overall generally underperformed. And overall, it was considered not a very good show. I mean, none of the matches were terrible, but a lot of them could have been. It felt like it was hyped up to be Indianapolis's version of WrestleMania, and the people that watched it definitely the consensus does seem to be that it's not that it's not. It wasn't their WrestleMania. It was WrestlePalooza, and could have been better. That is unfortunate. Um, but SmackDown last week started off with Brock Lesnar. He was supposed to have a pre-recorded interview with Michael Cole earlier in the day. However, Brock Lesnar said, "No, I want to do it at the opening of Raw or SmackDown." And the interview, the way I wanted to go is, I want to F5 Michael Cole. And then Corey Graves stepped in and saved Michael Cole from an F5 by taking the F5 himself. So, okay, that's some news. Corey Graves took a bump after supposedly being told his career was over. But once again, like Saraya, aka Paige, like Edge, like Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call them, like all three of them, they were all told their careers were over, never going to wrestle again. Corey was told his career was over. He wasn't going to return. He wasn't going to be able to. He wasn't ever going to get cleared again. He's cleared. AJ Lee, I think, was at one point was told her career may be over, but it stands like medical technology is fantastic, and everything that our medical professionals have learned about healing the body is amazing. Because the better medical technology we can get, like, who knows? Who knows? Except Corey Graves, you're threatening yourself by taking an F5. Now, now we definitely do need. I know some people are out there and we think, what about Biggie? What about Biggie? Biggie never had surgery. Or he was able. I don't think he ever actually went with the surgery, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I could be wrong on that, but like it's also been tentative because like I mean like even Edge, like it took 7 years, 8 years, 9 years before he was actually medically cleared to return, and then Daniel Bryan got lucky with the fact that you know what, by that point medical technology was at the level it was, so he was able to get cleared in less time. Saraya got cleared. I think her wrestling in ring career supposed to be over in 2015, 2016, I think. wrestled her first match back in 2022, I think it was. But these injuries will always take a lot of time to maybe get someone back to where they're in the ring. Maybe Corey Graves will get back in the ring, or maybe his doctor said, you know what, you're cleared to take this bump. Anything else, no. We have no idea, but this is a sign that at least Corey Graves is healthy enough to take an F5, which, you know what, that's good news. Regardless how you feel about Corey Graves, regardless of how you look at it, it is good news. What is not so good news for Chelsea Green and Alba Fire is that they failed to significantly damage the women's tag team champions before this tag team title match. And actually, speaking of career-ending injuries, currently Piper Niven is off TV dealing with an injury that some online are reporting could be career-ending, which would not be cool. Would be really bad. Piper was really getting rolling. She and Alba Fire with Chelsea Green, this trio was amazing on TV, and I really hope it's not taken away from Piper just like that. That would really suck. Okay, but Chelsea Green and Alba Fire were unsuccessful in obtaining the women's tag team titles as they both ate super kicks, they ate a twist of bliss, and a double natural selection for Charlotte to pick up the win for her team. And then we had a second tag team match where Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed took on Fraxium, and it was a fun match. It was a good match. But unfortunately, Fraxium they lack mass. They lack size. That look generally sure you still got a chance, but Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're on a whole new level of aggression. They're being promised great things, and all they have to do is increase their intensity, increase their aggression. They hear that. They hear like, that's all we got to do. And all we got to do is be bigger, be meaner, be us, be more us. Oh, let's do it, dude. And so now we know Bronson Reed also, when he does the Death Valley Driver, he calls it the Jagged Edge. Pretty good name. I like it. And while Fraxium not Fraxium, it's Axiom, tried to stop Bronson Reed from hitting a tsunami onto Nathan Frazier, Bronson shoved him off, and as Axiom turned around, ate a spear just as his feet landed. He ate a spear from Braun Breaker. Bronson got the win for the team. And I don't know why these guys are not officially a tag team. I would not be mad if they made these two tag team champions on Raw. Like, it works. Like, I buy it. I'm completely down for these two being the new tag team champions. I'm totally down for that. It works. I think there is a story to tell there. I think it could be great. I'm interested in this. It's WWE. Come on. Give it to us. Nia Jax complained about how she deserved to be women's champion and how she deserved a women's title match. Tiffany Stratton said, I'm the real women's champion around here. And Jade Cargill came out because she was mad that Nia Jax attacked her or something. Yeah, I have very little interest in this feud because I saw something Maven posted. Apparently on his video, one of his more recent videos, he named Jade Cargill number 4 of his top 10 people in WWE right now, or in pro wrestling. And look, Maven had an interesting career in WWE. He didn't have a bad career. He had a good career. He had some cool moments. And from everything I've heard about the guy, seems like a really nice guy, genuinely good human being and good person. So I got no hate for them. I don't have any hate for Maven, but I disagree with him on Jade Cargill being now. The things he pointed out were her physique. Like, I cannot. I do not have a physique like Jade Cargill. If I did, ladies might be more interested in me. Well, a more manly version of her physique. You get what I mean. But yeah, no, like you see her in the ring. She has presence. Maven brought that up. She knows how to move in the ring. The moves that her signature moves, she knows how to do them well. Which like, yeah, all like she has a lot of good qualities. She has gotten a lot of things down and understood parts of the industry, but I don't think she is number 4 on that alone. I don't think she could be number 4 on that alone. I think she needs to be able to tell a story in the ring. Now, yeah, there are definitely great wrestlers who maybe weren't that good at telling stories in the ring, but they were great technical wrestlers. And you know what? Well, like that can always be an argument that can be brought up and can be discussed. That's But Nick Aldis decided that he was tired of these 3 women arguing over who deserves what, and just made them fight it out in a triple threat match tonight on SmackDown. I think this is the only way that they're going to be able to get the title off of Tiffany Stratton, because the winner is supposed to take on Stephanie Vaquer. And I don't see Tiffany. I think Tiffany and Stephanie Vaquer are 2 talented women, but I think also in recent months we've seen these 2 are still green. Like no hate. Like they've done well in the ring, but when we saw Tiffany try and lead Jade Cargill in the match at SummerSlam, I think it did not go well. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful, but it was not good. And so, like Tiffany, she was white hot. She is cooling off, and you gotta. And Nia Jax makes perfect sense. Nia Jax is a good woman to have as your women's champion on SmackDown. A giant, a force that needs to be stopped. There's at least a dozen different stories you could tell with her and the women's division. Stephanie Vaquer, she is experienced, but I don't think she has the experience needed to lead a match well. Nia Jax, while she has not had the greatest reputation in WWE, and the fact is that she did go away. She learned some more, trained more, and then when she came back, the reports were that the women feel safer working with her this time around. So Nia Jax did something right. If women are saying they feel safe working with her, and if they're keeping Nia Jax in this position without Vince McMahon at the helm, so clearly Nia Jax is doing something right. And I can't be mad if she's like, okay, if she had the attitude of, okay, I'm going to figure out what I'm doing wrong and do it and fix it. And then she comes back and does everything right. Has been a very good part of the women's division. So I'm like, okay, like what? You're not giving me anything to complain about. Still not my favorite wrestler, but you're not giving me anything to complain about. So good on you. Great job. Keep it up. Sami Zayn, though. Sami Zayn's a heel. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know why you guys love Sami Zayn so much. He's a heel. Okay? Because he's had 3 open challenges, and all 3 he's handpicked his opponent. That is not how an open challenge works. No. First week it was John Cena. Second week it was Rey Fenix. And last week it was Carmelo Hayes, and Sami Zayn won all three. And so, and yes, that's right. Melo, he came close to win. He almost hit nothing but net. He almost. And I was wrong last week when I said that Miz was going to cost. Miz didn't cost him the match. Miz ended up on commentary and was really good on commentary. I can definitely see Miz taking a commentary role once he is done with his in ring performing. Because you know what, like the one thing I definitely learned after watching The Miz for a while, specifically around the time he had that feud where with general manager Daniel Bryan, is that Miz really loves pro wrestling. He really loves this. And he will do anything and everything he needs to make sure it is the best product it can be. So he is always you need me to bite the bullet, I'll bite the bullet. You need me to do A, B, C, D, Z, whatever, I'll do it. He is a team player. He is definitely grossly underappreciated in his early years in WWE. But he is like since that feud, since that time, he is anytime you hear him cut a passionate promo, it's like even if he's heel, fans can't be like, man, this guy, he's speaking truth. He's speaking gospel, man. Man, praise the Miz. All hail the Miz. But now Sami Zayn, his games are over because Nick Aldis. I don't know how this conversation actually went on, man, but I'm imagining Nick Aldis approached him like, dude, why are you picking your 3 open challenges? That is not how this works, sir. No, tonight you walk out to that ring and you are going to wait and find out who your opponent is the same time everybody else does. I'm not going to tell you who your opponent is. You're not going to know who your opponent is. The fans aren't going to know who your opponent is. I'm going to be the only one who knows, and you will find out tonight in that ring. So you better be ready to defend that title and prove to yourself and prove to everybody that you are a great United States champion. Also, Jacob Fatu is reportedly to return to TV imminently. So if Sami Zayn loses the title tonight, it's likely because Jacob Fatu showed up and look, I'm not mad about the idea that Jacob Fatu might become U.S. champion again tonight. I'm cool with that. I like it. But there is no story. There is no juicy, meaty story for him to sink his teeth into. We all thought there was this juicy, meaty story they were going to tell with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, and then they said no because they does seem to be that they're very keen on making 2026 the year of Sami Zayn, and unfortunately, it does seem like that meant Sami had to win the United States Championship, a title that he actually had never won before. So now there is one title, or one type of title, that he has not won yet, a world title. Now, at some point during the show, there was a backstage segment where Brock Lesnar approached Paul Heyman and said he wanted to talk with him, and he had a favor or something to ask of Paul Heyman. And we would find out what that favor was at WrestlePalooza. Sami Zayn would actually end up hitting the Blue Thunder Bomb to beat Carmelo Hayes. And then the main event segment of the show was Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre signing the contract for their title match at WrestlePalooza. They exchanged words, and then they got into an intense brawl. Drew said that he almost did to Cody what he did weeks ago, and Drew held off. He was gonna, because he wanted to make sure Cody made it to WrestlePalooza. And then when we came down to WrestlePalooza, Brock Lesnar and John Cena, I believe, opened up the show, and Brock Lesnar just completely annihilated John Cena in, I don't know, under 8 minutes, I think it was. It was a short match. Or no, I think it maybe it was a short match, and so I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I don't care. Please, like Brock, go go anywhere else and do anything else. Now, I think since I'm on here, I should mention Edge it looks like he is leaving AEW even maybe temporarily. Um, However, there have not been any confirmed reports as to whether this is storyline or if his contract or if he is actually letting his contract expire and declining to re-sign with AEW. I don't know what the story is. Really, nobody really knows except Edge and his family. Maybe Christian Cage knows. Maybe. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he does, but he might. As for and now people are saying like, oh, Edge is gonna be John Cena's final opponent. Edge was like, I want that more than anything else. I want Edge to be John Cena's final opponent, but I do not think we are going to get that. I don't think we're gonna get that. I'm gonna have that opinion until I am told otherwise, until I see otherwise. Because right now, the worst thing any of us can do is set the expectation that we're going to get Edge and John Cena in December in Boston, and then be let down by it's not him, it's Dominic Mysterio, it's Joe Hendry, it's Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Cody. No, not Cody Rhodes again. They've already had 2 matches. If it's R-Truth again, I don't know. I have no idea, but let's set our expectations low and just enjoy the 3 months we have left of John Cena being an in-ring performer in the WWE. But so while this match was short, we found out before the match started exactly what the favor was. Brock Lesnar asked Paul Heyman for one more time to be his personal ring announcer and announce him as the opponent of John Cena. So we got we got Paul Heyman giving the whole shtick. The 20, what is it now? 2, 3? Or no, he would have had to say the first man to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Former NCAA champion, former multi-time All-American athlete, UFC heavyweight champion, WWE champion, world heavyweight champion, Intercontinental, United States, tag team, Royal Rumble winner, all these amazing accolades. Because truth is, like, yeah, Brock Lesnar, he's quite an athlete, which is kind of crazy. And I mean that was only a nice little touch. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeated the Usos in a tag team match. When there was some miscommunication, I guess, between Jimmy and Jay actually blames Jimmy for the loss, which leads into the rumors that maybe potentially Jay Uso is actually going to turn heel. And I don't know. Maybe he's going to turn heel. Maybe he's not. I mean, I never would have bet he was going to be a Royal Rumble winner. I never bet that he was going to be a World Heavyweight Champion. I never bet that he was going to be one one of the biggest singles matches in WrestleMania or at WrestleMania, not necessarily in WrestleMania history, but at WrestleMania. Yeah, like so. I mean, I don't. So I don't know. Maybe because Jey Uso's has shown that, like, hey, you know what? If I can make money doing it, why not try it? And it's like, you know what? Yeah, you've made the WWE a lot of money in these last 2 years, and it's for most of those last 2 years you've been a singles star. So I mean, like, what are we gonna like? Or what are we gonna say? Oh no, you can't No, you can't because he's a tag team guy. It's like, I don't know, this tag team guy sells a lot of merch as a single star. So I'm not gonna. So yeah, I'm not gonna say no. Uh, but so one other thing I forgot to mention for this tag team match was at some point, LA Knight, I guess at the beginning of the match, before the match started, LA Knight was named to be the special guest referee, which seemed to uh, play in to Jimmy and Jay losing. The tension between Knight and Jay continued as Jay nearly clocked Knight with the steel chair. Total carnage erupted as Breaker speared both Usos through a table in the corner. Reed then touched down with a tsunami onto Jay. Okay, no. On Jay to win the match in a statement victory. Now, I do remember reading LA Knight at some point. Actually, no. So I don't think he ever officially called it a no DQ match, but he was loose with the rules, allowing both teams to brawl outside the ring and use of a variety of weapons against each other. Which, you know what? On one hand, I think that was a good move by LA Knight, letting these guys go at it and let them beat the hell out of each other. Well, I agree, but at the same time, it may have not been the entirely best decision, but we'll see. Stephanie Vaquer took on Io Sky to be crowned the new women's world title, in which Stephanie Vaquer did win. Obviously, the women's world championship was vacated due to Naomi becoming pregnant with her first child, I believe. And this caused WWE to have to come up with a plan on their own. They ended up choosing Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for one to be the champion, and ultimately it did and it was the SVB that or no, it was Vaquer hitting a spiral tap to pin Sky and win her first ever women's world title. So I mean that's definitely great for Stephanie. And I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to establish Stephanie Vaquer as a big star right away. At the same time, there can be an argument made that it's too early for her, but time will tell if this was ultimately the right decision or ultimately the wrong decision. But Stephanie is going to be eager to prove this was the correct decision. So I'm eager. I'm definitely interested to see how Stephanie's world title reign goes. Because they're not gonna be able to just let anybody beat her. It's gonna have to be somebody that makes sense. A Bailey, a Rhea Ripley, um, maybe Asuka, maybe because like I feel like Io Sky and Asuka they're heading towards a WrestleMania match, which I think would be really good. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Up next, we had the intergender match of the century. CM Punk and AJ Lee, husband and wife, versus husband and wife, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And CM Punk and AJ Lee would end up picking up the win. And I didn't hear much about this match other than both teams were wearing individual colors of causes. And okay, I mean that's cool. I kind of don't want to see causes represented just randomly. Like I get it. I get that there are people that are very uh, uh connected to some causes, and I don't think I got no problem with that. As far as me, just as someone who's just looking for entertainment, I'd rather not see it unless it's the whatever um prevention month, whatever celebration month, like obviously like then it is what it is. is. But I don't think I heard that this match was anything special, unfortunately. And but I mean, again, like you just overall the card underperformed. It's actually being said that Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky was the match that saved the card and gave it a relatively not so bad rating, which was generally the rating was a C on a letter grading platform. But WWE main event match was Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes would end up picking up the win. This is not necessarily good for Drew, but at the same time, like I don't think anyone was expecting Drew to win. So the question is definitely going to be what happens here with Drew. Where does he go from here? Potentially a feud with Randy Orton. I think that'd be good. I have no idea what else. I really have no idea what else they could do with Drew. Um Actually, hold on. Actually, Drew's actually probably gonna be taking some time off because I do remember hearing that Drew has been cast to star in what is the series Highlander? I think it is with Henry Cavill. So Drew's going to Hollywood. Cool. And Highlander is supposed to be. I do believe there is supposed to be based in Scotland, so makes sense. And Drew's a big guy, so I don't know how good of an actor he is, but I imagine they say, "Hey, we need you to act Scottish. We need you to act the most stereotypical Scottish you can." Drew will probably be like, "Okay, can I have a bunch of beer on set? That way, so I can drink while doing my thing, because you want me to be Scottish. We drink." Like, should be a lot of fun. Should be a really good show. Hopefully, you always hope that these shows do well. And then we move on to tonight's SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton defends her championship against Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. And right now, I'm going to say this: Nia Jax wins. I don't think Tiffany retains. I think Jade is not ready. No. You want to keep her in the title picture, fine, but she is not ready to be a champion. Or at least not a world champion, not a women's world champion. No. So at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia, I do believe the match will be Stephanie Vaquer versus Nia Jax. That should definitely be a solid matchup. Cody Rhodes looks to his Crown Jewel Championship showdown against Seth Rollins. That should be a fantastic match, hopefully. Sami Zayn issues another United States Open challenge. This time, they're not saying who his opponent is. So, holy hell, yes! Sami Zayn is going to have to defend his title against someone he was not able to prepare for. So, good luck, Sami Zayn. And then finally, we're going to have Michin and BFAB teaming up to take on Julia and Kiana James. And so now, I'm definitely curious to see how this match goes, especially since it feels like they're heading towards a Michin dethroning Julia at some point. Maybe I don't know, but they keep Michin in that around that title. So I feel like at some point they're going to give her the title. Maybe. I don't know. But like if it's not gonna be her, it's likely gonna be either an established star or a newcomer up. Jordan Grace, maybe Jada Parker. I don't know. Somebody I don't know. Like I could see that maybe there's a story where Michin wins the title from Julia. I just don't know if that's actually the angle they're gonna go down. Well, I guess with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening on the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. Tune in next time. We will go over tonight's SmackDown, everything that happened, how I feel about it, And guys, enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great week at work. And I will see you guys next time.